All right, here is AP type this AB self check 4.1. Going over the solutions. Number one, we have something that satisfies the mean value theorem. That means we need to write out the mean value theorem. So I immediately write f prime of c is equal to f of b minus f of a all over b minus a. And then from there, I fill in everything that I have. A is going to be 0, b is going to be 2, and there's my f, so I might as well find f prime right now as well. F prime of x over here is going to be 3x squared minus 4x, and I'm ready to start plugging everything in. So the first thing that I have in my equation over here is f prime of c. So I'm going to take this f prime of x and switch all these x's for c's and put it over here. When I do that, I get 3c squared minus 4c. That's going to be equal to, okay, f of b is the height at b. Okay, I need to actually find that piece too. So let's do f of b in this case is going to be equal to f of 2. And that means I'm plugging in 2, so it's going to be 2 cubed minus 2 times 2 squared, which is going to be equal to 8 minus 8, which is, in this case, 0. So I'm going to say 0 minus, okay, now I need to do f of a. F of a is going to be equal to f of 0, which is going to be 0 cubed minus 2 times 0 squared, which again is 0 minus 0, which is 0. So 0 minus 0 on the top, I have 2 minus 0 on the bottom, and my new equation is going to be 3c squared minus 4c is equal to 0. From there, I just need a factor to solve. So I'm going to say c is being factored out. I have a 3c minus 4 left over being set equal to 0, which means either c is equal to 0 or this 3c minus 4 is set equal to 0. 3c is going to be equaling 4, which means c is equal to 4/3. Which, so there's two answers in there. Between A and D, what is our answer? It's between 0 and 2. I feel like both of those are valid answers. Strange. I mean, my first inclination is to just choose D because 0 is talking about slope and mean value theorem. While it is on the open interval, the closed interval between 0 and 2, mean value theorem is talking about slope, and that's talking about the derivative. The derivative doesn't exist at an endpoint, and that is an endpoint value. That's why I'm going to exclude that value.
So, no 0.
So, not 0. Yeah. All right. In number 2, the radius of a circle is increasing at a certain instant. The rate of the increase of the area, so I'm talking about A prime here. A prime is numerically equal to twice, so I'm just reading this out. So equal to is this equal to, and then twice is this 2, the rate of increase of the circumference. So I'm going to say rate of increase of the circumference is 2c prime, and we're looking for the radius at that point. All right, so if I take this down here, A prime is equal to 2c prime. It's really nice to know what these formulas are. A prime is equal to c prime times r, and if you don't have that memorized, I can rewrite that really quickly. A prime is the same thing as 2 pi r prime, and c prime is equal to 2 pi r prime. The only thing that this c prime is missing to get from here to here is an r, so there's the extra r. So knowing that, we can just plug c prime r in for this a prime, and I'm going to get now this c prime r, and that's equal to a 2c prime. If I divide both sides by c prime, divide both sides by c prime, gone, 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 and r is equal to 2. Correct answer D.
Yeah, I guess that.
It works. Questions on number 1 or 2?
Still ready.
I got it right. I was
Did you guys all know to use this shortcut of a prime as c prime times r?
I got confused. I put c times r prime.
That works. Yeah, that's another one. You can also say that a prime is equal to c times r prime. It's just we don't have c in this equation. There is no c. We only have a c prime. Both of these work. They're the same types of equation. 2 different shortcuts here. One for c prime, one for c. You should know both of them. right, moving on to number 3. We have the radius of the sphere is increasing and at a uniform rate of 0.3. So increasing is this positive word. Jump back to red here. Increasing is this positive word, which means we're going to say this is r prime is equal to a positive 0.3. At the instant when the surface area becomes 100 pi, that means s in this case is equal to 100 pi. And what is the rate of increase of volume? So we're looking for v prime in this case. So v prime is equal to our box. All right, so we need an equation for s, and we have that right here. Let's go ahead and fill in what we know. We know that s is going to be 100 pi whenever I do plug it in and try to use the color code. So 100 pi, and then that's going to be equal to 4 pi. We don't have r at all, just r squared. All right, we also need an equation for the volume prime. The two equations that we're using is s and v prime because those are the things we mentioned in the problem. So I'm going to have this v prime and write it over here. I'm going to say if I take the derivative of this volume, I'm going to get, volume prime is equal to 4 pi r squared r prime. And then I'm going to fill in what I know. I know that this r prime is 0.3, so I'm just going to rewrite this and say v prime is equal to 4 pi r squared times our r prime of 0.3. And this is kind of the shortcut, if you will. Do you notice that there's a 4 pi r squared there? Do you notice that there's a 4 pi r squared there? They are the same value, which means this 4 pi r squared is 100 pi, because this 4 pi r squared is also 100 pi. I could do this the long way too, but the shortcut is to just swap out this 100 pi into this 4 pi r squared and say, all right, I'm done, and say v prime is equal to 100 pi times this 0.3, and v prime is equal to 30 pi, therefore the answer is E. Although if you do this the long way, you could solve for r. If you solve over here for r, we can do that. We can say, okay, I would have to do a little bit more work. I have to divide by 4 pi, divide by 4 pi, and I get 25 is equal to r squared, and then I square root both sides, and I get r is equal to 5, and then I plug that 5, this 5 back in for this r squared is 25, 25 times 4 is 100, and you eventually get this 100 pi, which I could have gotten from the very beginning. But yeah, you can do it the long way or the short way. All right, questions on number 3? All right, and then number 4, we have a right triangle. So every time I see a right triangle problem, I'm going to draw a right triangle. So here's my right triangle. I indeed have it right. It has leg AB and hypotenuse BC. So I'm going to say ABC. So hypotenuse needs to be CB. It says leg is going to be AB. Everything here just makes sense with what is happening. Leg AB and hypotenuse BC. It says leg AB is decreasing at a constant rate of 3 centimeters per second. So I don't want to use A, B, and C because I think it will be confusing with our A, B, and C. I'm going to use X, Y, Z. If that's okay with everyone else, I'm going to call this X and Y and Z. Therefore, I'm looking for a Z prime, a Y prime, and an X prime. Those are our scavenger hunt questions. Let's see how many of these we get. So we have leg AB decreasing. Decreasing is this word that means negative so minus 3. So we have minus 3 over here. Leg AC is increasing. Increasing here is a positive word, and that's going to be 4. So it's a positive 4. How is the hypotenuse BC changing? So we're looking for a Z prime in this case. At the moment when AB, that's going to be, I don't know, I have an X. Oops, I meant to do just an X instead of an X prime. That means X in this case is 12, and AC, that other leg, is 5. Okay, so we have all the pieces here. We're missing Z. So our scavenger hunt, find Z, and then we can find Z prime, right? So to do that, I'm going to make a secondary triangle just to calculate this other value. I have length of 5, length of 12, and this is one of the 3 Pythagorean triples that you need to have memorized. This is a 5, 12, 13. Again, those 3 Pythagorean triples, again, you need to know these 3 triangles off the top of your head. One is a 3, 4, 5. Nice and easy to remember because you just count out from 3, 3, 4, 5. If you double each of those, you get 6, 8, 10, which is another Pythagorean triple. And the third Pythagorean triple is the one that I just mentioned here, which is a 5, 12, 13. If you memorize those 3, you have like almost all the Pythagorean triples memorized for the AP type stuff. There's going to be like a handful of Pythagorean triples that you'll just have to rederive using Pythagorean theorem, but this one speeds up your calculations, and now we can immediately say z is equal to 13 because we know that Pythagorean triple. From here, we're going to set this into our equation. Our equation says I'm going to use x's and y's and z's, so I have x prime plus y prime is equal to z prime, although if I was in college, I'd probably say zeta prime. All right, because z and t sounds kind of like the same thing, and you use t quite a bit in all the math. Filling in what we've got an x is a 12, and x prime is a -3, plus y is 5. Try to write that again. 5 times y prime, which is 4. That's going to be equal to zeta 13 times zeta prime. All right, then we just need to solve here. What do we get? 12 times -3 is -36. 5 times 4 is 20, and that's equal to a 13 zeta prime. And then I'm going to get a -16 is equal to a 13 zeta prime. And then divided by 13, I get -16 over 13 is equal to our zeta prime. So we need a word that says decreasing because we have a negative, and the rate should be 16 over 13. So these are the decreasing words. It's definitely not changing. It is not increasing. So it's decreasing, and there's the 16 over 13 we're looking for. The correct answer here is B for number 4. All right, questions on 1, 2, 3, or 4. I know that we didn't have enough time to do each of these. AP Calculus is not just about how well you know the math, it's about how many tricks you have to go faster and faster. The trick for number 4 is just know your Pythagorean triple, the 5, 12, 13, and get used to this process over and over again. Questions? You guys are looking it over. Again, you should be having about 2 minutes per question, which is why I gave you 8 minutes for 4 questions. Just get you used to what the time is going to be like on the real AP test. How many points do you get out of 4? Hold them up. 2? Okay, that's not that bad. So that's the floor. You guys all put that up here in the number correct on top, right?
Yes.
Excellent. All right. Then we're moving on to self-check 4.2. It looks like we have another 4 questions, which means 8 minutes as well. Let's go ahead and get that set up now.